We're going to learn how to use GitHub. So what is GitHub? GitHub Incorporated is a provider of internet hosting for software development and version control using Git. It offers the distributed version control and source code management functionality for Git, plus its own features. Alright, so what is Git? Git is a software for tracking changes in any set of files, and it's usually used by programmers, researchers. So what happens is, if myself and Mr. A are working on a document, before Git existed, what people did was, I work on my document on my computer, you work on your documents on your computer, and when we are trying to merge the files, we have to edit the document manually to make sure that it collaborates, it works, like it is the same. But with Git tracks the changes that have been made in these documents, so that when we are merging them together, when we are joining them together, it's one. It feels like it's not even fail. We are actually working on one document with changes that have been made tracked. So I can see the changes that Mr. C made. Mr. C can see the changes that I made. So Git is a software that tracks the changes that happen in files. And based on GitHub has been developed more like a hosting platform that allows you to store these files and use the Git technology to track the changes. We are going to learn how to upload a file to GitHub. This video already assumes that you have created your GitHub account and you know how to make use of your command line prompt. So let's get into it. I am going to be creating a directory called testing players. It's going to be a Python project that just outputs hello world. I'm going to go into this directory, testing players. I'm going to open this directory in my Visual Studio Code. Alright. I'm going to make it bigger. Okay. So now I'm going to just create a Python saying testing.py and I'll write a comment. This is just a Python file that says hello world. We are using this file to demonstrate how to push your code to GitHub. Alright, so I'm just gonna write is equal to hello world, print hey. We don't know what this does. It prints hello world. I'm going to go to my GitHub account. I am in my GitHub and I am going to create a new repository. So when you click here, click on new repository. A new repository is basically like you're trying to start a new project. So more like you're creating a new folder for a new project you're about to start on GitHub. So I'm going to just write testing players. I'm not adding any description. I'm not making it private. So you have the ability to make it a private or a public folder. Public folder means everyone can see it. Private folder means just you and anyone you've invited can work on that project. I'm not adding any README. I am just going to click create repository. Now when I do that, GitHub gives me instructions on how to ensure that my file, my project, is uploaded seamlessly. So we have instructions here that we have to follow, and these instructions we will have to type them in our command line. So we already have a file in our folder, so I'm just going to ignore the fact that we're going to put a README, and I'm going to go to this step. So where is my command line? Now git init, what does it mean? Initialize git. That means let's get git initialized in our project folder. So we're going to type git init, and git has been initialized in our project folder. All right. Add readme. So because we have a file here called testing.py, what we're going to do is we're going to go like add git add. If I put a dot like this, it means git add all, but we have a file here, so it's testing.py, git add testing.py. I'm going to press enter, and if I type git status, it tells me that, oh, this changes to be committed. What's the changes to be committed? They're in a testing file. So the next thing is to git branch -main. That's because on my command line I'm in a master branch. So what is a branch? More like a branch is more like, okay, let's use the literal word branch, like a branch of a tree. So we have a main branch where all your files are, and we have other branches. So for example, I have a main branch for my project where the hello world stays, and we can have other branches for how are you doing, I am fine, and we can decide to merge all those branches into the main branch. But we're going to just work from the main branch, and later we can talk about branching. All right, so now that we've added the file, let's commit the file. Git commit -m, which means what message are we leaving here? This is a hello world commit. So what does committing do? Committing tells GitHub or Git on our local computer that, oh, these files are ready to go online to our GitHub repositories. So on our computer we have Git, and on the internet we have the GitHub. So whenever we want to push a file from our computer to GitHub, we need to commit that file, and committing that file means that this file is ready to be uploaded to our online repository on GitHub. All right, so the next thing to do is to git branch -m main. So what's happening here is, originally when you start a Git repo, as at recording this video, it's on master branch. What's a branch? A branch, like, let's look at the branch of a tree. So we have different branches. We can have a root branch, a main branch, where all your files are stored. So this hello world is stored here. We can create a different branch that says how are you doing. We can, and then we can we taking that again. Now after we are done committing the file, we need to change our branch, because right here we have a master branch. As at recording of this video, GitHub's main branch is called main. So we're just going to come here and say git branch dash m main. So what's a branch? A branch is like a part of your project where you are working in. So for example, we have a main branch, that's where the hello world is. Tomorrow someone can decide to say, oh, I want to add a how are you doing, I am fine section in this script, and the person will have to create a different branch. So the person will work in that branch, and when they are ready to allow you see what they are working on, they can tell you, okay, I'm ready to join this script to your script because I've done a how are you in this script. So you can look at it, and you actually go to the how are you branch, figure out what's happening in how are you branch. Oh, I like the code, I like what is written in how are you branch, and you can now merge it to the main branch. So I will go into branches later, but just know that this allows us to have our main branch all set up so that we can push our code to Git. So now that is done, we'll go back to our GitHub documentation, and it says Git remote add origin this. Now this is our GitHub HTTPS. This is where our online GitHub is hosted. So what this command does is it adds this link to our local Git, so that when we want to make pushes, it's easy. It's just easy. We don't have to start typing the URL. So the command git remote add origin says, oh Git, this is the link to our online repository over here. Let us add it to our local repository over here. So when we are pushing files, it's just seamless. All right, so we're going to copy this whole code, paste it, and I'm going to press enter, and that's it. All right, the next thing to do is git push -u origin main. What this does is push the files to our online Git. So I'm going to git push -u origin main, and I'll click enter, press enter, and it's going to run a process. And when it's done on the process, that means it's pushed. We're going to wait for a while. All right, now that we have our Git file, our project file on our local Git uploaded to our online GitHub repository, when we refresh this page, instead of seeing these instructions, we are going to see our file uploaded, and here it is. So we have our testing.py. You can click on this file and you can look at it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, our project works. You can actually add a readme now to your project. A readme is more like what your project is about. It's more like a mini document about what the project is doing or what the project is about. A lot of stuff can go in your readme. Now let me just add a readme and show you how to pull updates from GitHub to your local Git repository. So I'm going to add a readme, but before I do that, I'm just going to show you that in this project we only have testing.py. So over here in our readme, it says testing player. I'm just going to write, this project just teaches mentees how to push their project to GitHub. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to scroll down here and commit this new file to our main branch. So I just click commit, and we are done. All right, so now we have a readme and a testing.py, but on our local computer we only have testing.py. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this update from the online GitHub to our local file, local repository here. So what we're going to do is say git pull origin main. So we're saying is git kindly pull update from the origin main. From the origin meaning our online repository that we already have configured here, and main, which is a branch. So I'm going to press enter. All right, so now we have pulled the update. So if you look through all these instructions that came out during the pull, unpacking 100%, that is, we don't have any error. This is our origin, where we are pulling from and all. And so it's even giving us updates saying, oh, we actually have like a new file in our online repository that has been added to our offline or local repository. So when I type ls this time, I now see that I have testing.py and readme.md. This is just to show you how to create a repository online, initialize GitHub on your local computer, upload your project to GitHub. There are a lot of commands. When it comes to using GitHub, and as time goes on, you'll have to explore it. It is very necessary that you explore GitHub. GitHub is a powerful tool. Thank you guys for watching this video, just to give you an overview of what you can use GitHub to do. Have a nice day.